Let's review the dreaded inoperative components table in regards to doing an approach. I remember this taking me a second to get it down when I was in flight school, but just like everything else in life and in aviation, once you understand it, it's pretty easy. If you haven't already, go ahead and open up your TPP, and if you're in ForeFlight, you can do so by going to Documents, FAA Drive, and clicking on Digital Terminal Procedure Supplemental. Go to page 3 of the TPP to see the inoperative components table. There are a couple sentences here I want you to particularly emphasize on. The first one is, this table applies to approach categories A through D and is to be used unless amended by notes on the approach chart. And that just means that any notes that are on the approach chart that are talking about inoperative components will override anything on this table. The second is the full operation exception. So for ALSF 1 and 2 operated as SSALR, or when the sequence flashing lights are inoperative, there is no effect on visibility for ILS lines of minima. So first, let me just say that ALSF stands for Approach Lighting System with Sequenced Flashing Lights, and SSALR stands for Simplified Short Approach Lighting System. Now, don't let this sentence confuse you. All it means is if you're doing an approach that has an ALSF and the flashing lights on that ALSF are either inoperative or purposefully shut off in order for the ALSF to be used as an SSALR, then that's okay. You don't have to make any adjustments using this table. Now, as you can see, there are 5 different scenarios where you would need to use these tables. Number 1 is for any ILS, PAR, LPV, or GLS. Number 2 is for any of those with visibility minimum of RVR 1800, 2000, or 2200. Number 3 is for all the other approach types other than 1 and 2 above. Number 4 is for sidestep minimum for category C and D only, so probably not applying to you guys in flight training. Plus, if the approach plate does not say anywhere in the minimum section sidestep, you don't need to worry about this. And number 5, all approach types and all lines of minima for ODLs. Let's take a quick peek at number 2 and break this down a bit. Notice the symbols next to the RVRs, or the runway visibility required, and notice how each of these symbols has a corresponding matching symbol in the table below. So if you're doing an ILS approach that has an RVR of 1800 in the minimum section, or minima section, whatever, and the approach you're doing has ALSF 1 and 2 Mauser or SALR lights, then you're going to increase that RVR 1800 to RVR 4000. Make sense? And the same thing goes for the asterisks next to 2000 and 2200. When it comes to the pound sign, that one's pretty self-explanatory, but let me know if you have questions about it. Okay, there's just too much of this for me to squeeze it into one part, so I'm going to do a second part about this tomorrow, and I'm going to include an example, so come back for that.